I gotta get this on video. I don't want to get too fresh with this guy's bike, but this is a Shovelhead something or other. I don't really know. I didn't even notice it behind the other guy who had a nice 81 Shovelhead something. I don't even know what it was, but this is a nice bike right here. Look at that shit. That is freaking gorgeous. Damn, I like that bike a lot. Straight pipes, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I don't want to get too close and have the guy come running out here on me, but talking to myself into a camera, looking at somebody else's bike, could be slightly misconstrued. Either me being a psychopath, or just, you know, somebody who's trying to eye it up to steal it. But that is a nice freaking bike, man. Oh, wow. And both of them were, but the other guy's was a little bit unrestored. That Shovelhead is a nice freaking bike, man. I love something like that. You kidding me? Like an old like Shovelhead, I don't even know, Duoglide, whatever the hell they are. Duoglide, let me pronounce that correctly. I don't know, you know, it sucks. You pull up to somebody who's got a nice freaking 81 Shovelhead, you know, and you know, you're just like, that's a nice ride, dude. And they're like, yeah, nice ride yourself. And it's like, you don't really think that. You have a freaking 81 Shovelhead that is just sweet, you know. And I mean, I got my 05 Sporty here, which I mean, obviously I love, but you know, it's just kind of funny because you know, it's kind of obvious who has the perceivably sweeter ride, in that, you know, their bike's a classic, that's all. But no, it was a nice bike though. Could use a little restoration work, but nonetheless still a nice bike, with or without restoration work. God, I wish I could lane split in New York. Not that I would here, but just looking at all that traffic up there, I'm like, I want a lane split. Which brings me to a topic we can talk about. Did I turn the camera on? I think I turned the camera on. Well, let's talk about this. Lane splitting. Have I talked about this in any? I don't think I've talked about this. And if I have talked about it, I haven't edited it yet, which there's a lot of videos I haven't edited. But anyway, lane splitting. How do I feel about lane splitting? I think that lane splitting should be legal in every state, every freaking country, anywhere. It should just totally be legal. And here's why. First of all, it reduces congestion. There's just that many less cars on the road, or that many less vehicles taking up a, you know, 12-foot by 6-foot spot, so to speak. You know, a spot that a car could be in. It's so much better if you can get them out of the way. That way you have bikes that are out of the way, you know, out of the way of traffic. Second, which is my biggest reason, is it forces, in my opinion, it forces cars to be more cognizant of motorcycles. It forces cars to, it forces them to, oh my god, how am I saying? Oh, it forces cars to look for motorcyclists, and it forces them to recognize motorcyclists being there as a separate entity. Right now, the way motorcycles are treated in New York and in other states is they're treated as a a single entity with cars. Like, they're a vehicle on the road. They have to abide to almost all of the same rules as a car. If you have a motorcycle that has an extra capability of lane splitting, now car drivers have to refer to that motorcycle as a separate vehicle and something that has a different set of rules than they have to live by. What is this guy doing? Pull in, you stupid. This guy freaking floors it in the turn. There's a tractor trailer behind me who floors it because it's 2 lanes turning down to 1 lane, and the tractor trailer floors it to get around the white truck, and then he freaking boxes himself out. It's a tractor trailer. It's like, what the hell are you doing? It's just a truck part, but still, or a tractor part, whatever. Oh, I swear, these people just. But anyway, I'm not gonna let that ruin my day by any means. That's the only reason I got in this guy's bumper, was because I was trying to give him room so he didn't just come colliding into me. But anyway, where am I here? what you're forcing the car drivers to do is to treat a motorcycle as something different, a separate entity, a vehicle that has a different rule. And I think that by knowing a motorcycle can split the lane and go in between you, as long as you're a semi-sane person, that's going to make you more aware of saying, okay, I can't just turn lanes because there's going to be a motorcycle literally right next to me. Whereas, you know, otherwise, be like, he's in the lane, whatever. You know, he's in the lane over. But instead, he's right on the line, right next to you, like feet away. So, a certain amount of safety that comes along with that. And I think that, again, I said this before, I don't know if I said it on video, the two advantages that motorcycles have are better acceleration than the vehicles around them and better braking power than the vehicles around them. Of course, wet conditions and other things can change that, but generally those are your only two advantages. Look at this FedEx truck pulling right out. Anyway, those are generally your two advantages. So if you can add the advantage of being able to split the lane safely and legally, so that could come in handy. Obviously people abuse it, but the thing is, the way I look at it, anybody who's going to abuse lane splitting and split lanes at 90 miles an hour, they're probably going to do that anyway. They're not going to be afraid to lane split anyway. So that's kind of the way I look at that. And like anything else, I've always kind of been in the state of mind of you can't let the rest of everybody ruin it for the people who will use something responsibly. And I think that is a general rule when it comes to most laws and stuff. A majority of people will be responsible and follow the way the law works. So I think that to not have lane splitting is just disadvantaging people who deserve to be able to lane split. That's kind of the way I look at it. I'm sure people would disagree with me on that, but I just feel as though lane splitting should be legal and not frowned upon by any means. I think it's a safe practice, one that has a lot of place in modern motorcycles. You know, we're not talking about motorcycles back in the day that had drum brakes in the rear and no brakes in the front, or two drum brakes, or a drum brake and a disc brake. Now we're talking about bikes that can stop better. We're talking about bikes that can accelerate better. So there's not the bikes used to be more dangerous, you know, like used to stop worse than cars and used to accelerate about the same as cars, so you didn't even have those advantages. So I think now that bikes have become better and safer, I think that lane splitting can be legalized safely. I think so. The only thing that's interesting about lane splitting is that, considering that you're splitting the lane theoretically on the paint line, right, is that the road is awfully, you know, it's slippery in the rain and stuff, so you got to be careful when you're lane splitting if you're going to do it in the rain. But I mean, I don't think I would. Other than at intersections, I don't think I'd lane split much other than heavy traffic, you know, like at intersections and slow, like stop and go. I get my ass home at 35 miles an hour on the highway instead of sitting in traffic for 3 hours. And that's where I think that that's where the biggest advantage is that you totally remove congestion. There's a lot of bikes on the road, even in New York. There's a lot of bikes on the road on a day like today, a really nice day like today. That sounded awesome. A really nice day like today, there's tons of bikes. And if you can get some of those bikes off the road, then you're helping, you know, you're helping the cause, so to speak. That's kind of the way I look